AdLib is the smartest way to activate programmatic, built for expert traders yet easy enough for any marketer. Launch across all top DSPs without contracts, overhead, or busy work. Schedule a free trial today and start maximizing ROAS with AdLib. Check out AdLib at getadlib.com. Thank you to MediaOcean for sponsoring Open Market. It started with some friendly banter on X, and now we're running a series of ads recapping the 13 announcements MediaOcean made in June. They know, Aaron, they know about the friendly banter. We've told them about it so many times. Last week was an integration with Affinity Solutions for Innovid XP. This week it's the launch of Harmony Social, which sounds like a dating app for men who have moved to New Jersey and given up on the big city. For the first time, marketers can connect exposure data from CTV and display ads within the walled gardens of social. It's like Eric using his tele-TV to watch content on the big screen while monitoring his X feed on the ticker. I don't even know what the ticker is. Tune in next week for another news highlight and visit MediaOcean.com/pod to learn more. Welcome to Open Market, a podcast about building companies in the advertising industry. I'm Joe Zappa. I'm joined by Eric Franchi and Alex Boras from Blis. What's up, Alex?
What's up, Joe? Great to be here with you and Eric. Excited to talk to you guys today.
Alex is going to blow through the hype. Everyone is wondering, is all this AI stuff BS? Is any of it real? We invited Alex on because Blis launched an AI product last month, media planning and audience building tool, and he's going to show us if it is real time with a demo. Right, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely. Excited to be here. Excited to show you what is real. There is so much hype in the space. I mean, Joe, I know you and I were in Cannes together, and I think Eric was kicking around there as well. But yeah, I mean, it's on every panel. It's on every single press release, it feels like these days. But there's so much hype in the space, and it's just nice to have something tangible that is ready to be road tested. You all are going to see the beta version that we have in market, and we have advertisers actively using this today across 6 different markets globally. So pretty excited about this, and excited to take you guys kind of under the hood.
All right, awesome, Alex. While you get that fired up, I'll just add, one point. What was interesting about this idea of having you come on and do the demo was my Marketecture co-host, Ara Caparo, kind of put out there that there's so few companies actually shipping AI versus the percentage that are talking about it. So given the fact that you've shipped and you've got a product that's in use, we thought it would be neat to show how this stuff is actually working in the wild. So go for it.
All right, let's hop into the platform. Here, we're going to start with, we have 2 different options, right? So typically, as you're building an audience in almost every single other platform, right, you're going to build it manually. You're going to select segments, maybe layer in first-party data, and then slowly build that out. Here, we've actually added machine learning and AI and natural language inputs to allow us to generate a more informed audience, right? It's taking out the guesswork. It's finding those specific behaviors, keying on certain objectives, certain attributes, and really beginning to make a true recommendation that then can be easily applied to a campaign at a campaign level. So if we want to begin, Joe, you want to give me an advertiser?
Yeah, I always say Nike in these scenarios.
Love it. Easy. You could also enter in a URL if you wanted to target a specific shoe or brand, but for purposes of this demo, let's use Nike. The vertical, we'll say retail and commerce. Here we're able to add a campaign objective. So let's say raise awareness. Let's say awareness of back to school. So it's that time of year. Kids are buying new kicks as they start to think about school. Specifically, some of the southern schools are going back very soon. And then target audience. Let's say for purpose of this is moms buying shoes for children or for their kids as they go back. So I'm going to click this button and fingers crossed this goes through. But what you're going to see is a series of recommended audiences. So there'll be 3 audiences that will be the output of this based on the objectives that we have input into the system. We could have chosen conversion. We could have chosen, different other outcome-based uh, objectives that certainly could lend themselves to a given campaign. But for this, we want to make sure that as we're kind of building this, that we're putting in the proper inputs that then generate a couple of audiences that we'll be able to utilize. And so here you're going to see kind of the outputs. You've got your description. So fashion conscious mothers who frequently visit clothing retailers and designer brands looking for stylish back to school outfits for their children. So that's kind of the description of our fashion forward mom geared for school style. We also have...
And just, sorry, Alex, to interrupt, but just so for the sake of people who might be listening on audio and not seeing the description. So not seeing the screen, what happened here is, like, when we first entered the demo, right, it says you could manually build an audience, or there's another tab that says use AI to build the audience. So, like, Alex could probably explain to us all the things you would have to put in generally if you were doing it manually without AI versus what AI is now doing. And my understanding is it's just like synthetically figuring out a lot of stuff that otherwise like the human would be doing step by step. And then we see the result of that here, where we gave the machine, you know, the 3 or 4 inputs, Nike, raise awareness, back to school moms, etc. And now it's giving us 3 very detailed types of audiences. So we see 3 possible audiences that the planning tools created. 1, as Alex just said, fashion forward moms geared for school style. 2, active moms focused on health and fitness. And 3, value seeking moms near retail locations. So we're seeing the AI is taking these ingredients and then creating very different ways to run with it with a lot of details. And then I'll turn it back over to Alex to explain what some of those details are.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Joe, for giving kind of the audio visual explanation. Yeah, so each of these audiences are made up of a set of different data points. Some are proprietary Blis data points. Some, as those of you tuned into the YouTube channel can see, are actually provided by MasterCard. So that's purchase data based on credit card transactions. So we're utilizing a combination of kind of digital movement data. We're utilizing actual in-store purchase data, as well as some third-party data sets, depending on the different audience. And with each of these audiences, you not only get the description of the audience that's generated, but you also get the rationale for why it was chosen. So you can kind of toggle between each audience and look at the description and then the rationale. Those of you who make active recommendations, whether on the publisher side or on the agency side, are certainly able to lift a lot of this text directly into media plans, directly into recommendations, to be able to explain kind of why you were able to choose these audiences. And, you know, you could run these in tandem, you could run them separately. The other thing that you're seeing within this is you're getting kind of total number of zip codes, total number of households, as well as population for each of these audiences. So you're getting a sizing along the way. And then in our third audience, you'll notice that there's a catchment audience. So this is actually utilizing proximity to retail locations. So that's your catchment area. So here we're seeing 5-mile catchment radius within a retail location. You can edit that, you can toggle that, you can make it wider or more narrow, but 5 miles feels about right for a drive to a retail location. And then you can see kind of where that purchase data is coming from and how many households are a part of that population. So these are, again, these are AI generated recommendations. Had we changed different inputs, we would get different outputs. So really trying to simplify that planning process and then speed that activation, all while utilizing tech to make the recommendation versus so much of this today in a lot of different platforms, at least that I've been in, is very much still art. It's like, I think this makes sense, but this is actually recommending it for you.
Yeah. So you see the 3 different audiences. And so for fashion forward moms geared for school style, you see like 1310 zip codes, 8.4 million households, 20 million people, various attributes. For active moms focused on health and fitness, you see, 900 zip codes, 6 million households. So I guess, Alex, currently if I were a Nike media planner or, their agency representing them, I would have that general I would have that general sense of what I wanted to achieve, and then I would need to sort of piece all of this together. What do you feel like is most different with AI versus how the Blis platform worked previously? Like, you've shown us how the AI version works. Can you like explain how it would look without AI so people can grasp the change?
Yeah. So let's say we select this audience. We're able to then continue and refine it. And so what you're actually taken into is the manual build. So you're able to see your customer characteristics, shopper affinity, and then you can actually change. You can actually tweak it. You can say, okay, you're seeing what's selected across the top of the screen. You're taken to this very visual map that then you're able to drill in. Let's say you wanted certain areas or zips, or you wanted to be around urban centers, things like that. You're able to then tweak all of that. It becomes very customizable. And so what you'd typically be going through would be kind of a step through process of each screen, looking at customer characteristics, shopper affinity, digital affinity, which is kind of, what you're doing online, competitive landscape and sales trends. And then you could further refine that. But each step of the process, it's going to take a little bit of time to choose each of these things and then tweak them along the way. Here it's auto-generated and then gives the user the opportunity to refine that audience. And then, remove certain areas that they may find. You may want to remove something, you may want to add something, maybe you don't want mega big box stores, maybe you want to be in certain states. Those different options are all available to the user.
Okay, so it's a question of, again, it's really a question of like customizability and synthetic thinking, right? It's the ability to, instead of going through one by one and like you're maybe interacting with an interface and like, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do that. It's like, okay, here's what I want. It just gives you the answer, sort of the way we experience with the dynamic between, or the evolution from Google search to LLMs, right? It's like, I'm not like saying one thing I want and then getting a piece of information and piecing it all together myself, but rather the Blis platform is piecing it all together, to an extent, into a degree of customizability that was impossible previously.
Yeah, exactly. It's, taking a lot of the guesswork that kind of goes into sometimes audience selection out of it. And you're going straight to the recommendation, and then you're getting efficiency and time savings. You're getting efficiency in certainly kind of audience generation and the ability to build something very quickly that is recommended versus somewhat guessed at. And then you're able to easily apply it kind of down to the campaign level. So just efficiency across the board of time, of efficacy, as well as speed to activation. So all of those different areas are certainly present as we're starting to build out more of these AI tools.
And then ultimately there will be, like, this is a media planning and audience building tool. I imagine ultimately like the agency or the brand will be able to assess the efficacy of these audiences, sort of tie it to outcomes, iterate, etc.
Yeah, you can absolutely do that kind of during the campaign workflow. You're able to also, you can generate holdout areas or holdout groups. So, in this instance, right, we were tying the audience to retail locations. And so if we wanted to do some A/B testing of different geographical areas, think match market testing on steroids, you'd be able to do all of that straight from within this platform. And it'll create different holdout areas and actually buffer zones as well, so that you're really driving that, incrementality, which, I think we all talk about outcomes. Joe, you coined the term outcomes era, but, we certainly are looking at those incrementality tests that you can layer on that then are true measures of incrementality, because you're holding out the whole geographic region versus trying to do kind of an ID based holdout, which we know can have flaws.
So the state of the right now is you walked us through an AI-based media planning tool, and it was great, by the way. It's super cool. This is, kind of the what media planning, will and should look like in, with the tools ahead. And you should kind of do a deeper dive into how you might be planning or providing capabilities on a geo basis. What else have you built from an AI perspective, or is the planning really the flagship? Because you can then take those audiences, automatically, activate them, and automatically get the post campaign insights and optimization.
Yeah, planning is certainly the flagship. For us, it's we're very much an audience-based platform. That then you'll put it into your campaign, and you can select your different, you can select your different mediums. It'll work across any channel, whether that be CTV, whether that be digital out of home, whether that be kind of your standard mobile offering. And from our standpoint, that's kind of the next iteration that we're pushing our teams on, is how do we then take this audience and start to recommend channels? That's to come. I'm hoping that the next time I'm on the pod, we'll go through that one. But
yeah, that's right. That seems to be the next evolution, or the next place this can go, right? Which is, not just automating the planning, but then using all of the data to then inform what the next best automated plan might be, or maybe in a more outcomes, based way of saying it, where the next incremental dollar might be spent, whether that's on geo, whether that's on a channel, whether that's, on like however you could target. I get it. This is super cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, kind of right now we're providing kind of an estimated cut here. But what we want to do is take that kind of the next step and actually make it a recommendation. So this will be a recommended engine based on, all of the different parameters that we've already input into that audience. So, you get the opportunity to refine it, and then you'll have your recommended channel mix that then, you have that feedback loop, and we're off and running, and all of us can move to that 4-day work week.
Right, exactly. It's definitely something the average media planner is hoping for. And Alex, I imagine Blis's background in location intelligence is deeply affecting the way you guys are approaching this and making it look very different from how other DSPs would, right? Like, for example, we're seeing a map here. I know you'd said before, like, when you open the Blis DSP, you see a map. It's not what you'd see in the average DSP, maybe a periodic table or something. How does the location intelligence angle affect what you're doing?
Yeah, so all of these audiences are informed based on movement data, informed based on kind of enriched geographic signals. The other piece of this that we didn't really talk about, but is very much a part of it, is our data spine is structured on geo, as opposed to kind of your standard identity framework, which does help to close the gap on a lot of kind of this signal loss that we're experiencing, particularly among iOS devices, but in also other channels like digital out of home and audio. We really try to solve for that. And so when you're creating these audiences, that's why they're able to be used cross-channel, truly cross-channel, in a meaningful way, is because we've structured it geo versus kind of your standard digital identity, which oftentimes can become a single point of failure.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much, Alex. Blis is a sharpened client. We've been trying to get the word out there about Blis AI and an identity proof approach to AI-driven media planning and audience building. So thanks very much for taking us through that, Alex. And take care, and come back when you have the next big AI solution to show the people.
Awesome. Thank you both. Really appreciate the time.
Bye, guys.
See you next week, everybody.